Okay guys, so today what we're working on is a run stand. I know everybody's doing run stands nowadays, but we've been building run stands for a long time. I'm not saying we're the first guys to do it, but as far as I know, first guys on YouTube. It doesn't matter, who cares, whatever. We're working on the run stand for this here 426 Hemi Pro Stock engine. Don't know if this is part of the build on that engine or if this is a separate video. I know it is not on the Dominator video. This is its own thing. So I got the engine kind of apart so we can move it. We're going to take the tunnel ram off so it don't get damaged. We got some tube in here, and we're building this engine its own stand because this is a running display engine. We'll put it on the dyno, see what it does, and if it survives, cool. And if it does, we'll be able to tour it around when we go to shows and stuff whenever we get time. And we'll be able to take this engine with us and fire it up for people, and then they can see, you know, what a real Pro Stock engine looks like. They come up right up next to it, they can fondle it, and for like $5 I'll let you whack the throttle. Now when I say when you get to whack the throttle, I mean you get to do this much. Any more than that, you gotta pay extra. Because 110, 116, doesn't matter what this thing runs on, it ain't cheap. So let's get to work. We're gonna make a run stand, figure out where we're gonna put the dang thing. We gotta do some cleanup in here again, so alrighty, let's get to work. So since we're building a run stand for this engine, figured could be a good time to go ahead and finalize the water pump. So gasket, motor plate, gasket, water pump, silicone, Loctited that nut right there because, well, there's just not a lot of room, not a lot of studs hanging out, which kind of is unfortunate. But that was one of the original studs, and there's no way it's coming out of this block. So we'll just live with that with a little bit of Loctite. Plenty of silicone. It's the good stuff. It's that ultra black. So that'll set up. Now we got a place to mount this engine because the sides of the block are just, they probably hold it, but I just don't trust it. It's super thin. So unfortunately, our trusty dusty DeWalt saw that we've had for 50,000 years, I think she bit the dust. I think she's done. She's tired, she's worn, and I think she's done. So let's take a moment of silence for our trusty dusty DeWalt chop saw. Okay. Dad's kind of down. So we're gonna get to work on this stand. I'll show you more. So here we are, brand new chop saw. Sorry, Milwaukee. The DeWalt one. It has a better handle. Look at that handle. The DeWalt or the Milwaukee's is like a pistol grip, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna be comfortable. So we're doing our measuring. What's it gonna be, like 32 by 32? Yeah. I got the engine all ready over there as far as the motor mounts and everything, the elephant ears. And I'm gonna take some glorious slow motion shots, build shots, glory. And yeah, we're gonna get this thing rigged out, just the base. So enjoy what's about to come.
Your mouth move, damn, you look
As Dad said, easy part's done. Now, the fun part. All right, sorry, montage is over. There's the basic cart, and now we're gonna take this 4-speed bell housing. This is one Dad and I welded up, oh God, it's been like 2 or 3 years ago. We never really finished welding it, but it was cracked from here all the way around, and there you can see I had some grinds in there because we were gonna come back and do some more welding and fix all the cracks, but it don't matter. So we're gonna use this 11-inch cross-square bell housing to mount to the back of the Pro Stock Hemi, and then we're gonna transfer the bolt pattern to this steel plate, and that's how it'll attach. Is normally we don't use the bell housings because it adds unnecessary length to the engine, but for this, it gets that bell housing out of the garage and gets to show off another broken piece that was abandoned, basically as junk, going to go to scrap, just like I'm pretty sure anybody else with that block would have done. Even though it's a Hemi, those plates scare people. Don't scare me. So that's what we're gonna do. I brought a rag just to clean that off. Just like that, you are left with the pattern you need. You just gotta drill the holes. You might slot them out, make them a little bit big. And there is your pattern, and then get all that cut out. Mount to the back of that, mount to the back of the stand. Bada bing, bada boom. A lot of hard work now. Went ahead and painted the underside of that stand black, and Dad's fabulous torch work, very little grinding. He is a master with a torch. Don't really need a plasma cutter when you got Dad with his torch out. So now we're going to get the mag drill out. We're going to drill those holes precisely, perfectly. The mag drill is basically a mill, a portable mill, but just for drilling. So we're going to use that to get those holes done, and that'll mount the back of the end. Slugger doing his job. You can't get much nicer than that right there, especially that little guy. That man right there, greatest dad in the world. Alrighty, so we got that plate done, and now of course some of you are going back, well, that plate's not strong enough to weld it butted right there. So Dad's idea here is this is actually going to sit in the channel there. It's going to be welded on all the sides possible, so that'll be plenty strong. Plus it's 1/4 inch thick. I mean, that ain't gonna give. That's gonna be plenty good. Alrighty, so here's your update. That is the plate that the bell housing is gonna mount to. See, it's gonna be welded there, and then it's all the way around on this back side. Then there's a lip hanging down, that'll be welded too. And if we decide this thing needs some gusseting, we can triangulate it there and there, but I don't think it's gonna need it really. Because you're going to have, that's just holding the back of the engine. A lot of that weight and everything is going to be up here, and it's going to be mounted there and here. I think it's going to work out pretty good. Dad's going to burn that in because he's a master with the stick, and
Put a stiff back on the back of it.
That would actually probably work really good. But Dad's talking about is just add a straight piece of steel down the back, and then it'll stiffen that up instead of just being flat. That'd work out. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. Dad's welding on a stiff back to the stand back there just to go ahead and quell anybody who bitches about it not being strong enough. I got the old center force flywheel out that the McLeod clutch grenaded on. This is what we're gonna mount to the back of the Pro Stock. I had a 10.5-inch aluminum flywheel I was gonna run, but I have an 11-inch bell housing, so that's a no-go. I also found Jezebel's old flywheel bolts, got those all cleaned up pretty. And those will be attaching that flywheel to the back of the crankshaft. Thank God it's all 8-bolt. Thank God for all the stroker stuff being 8-bolt. So it won't be long before we actually pluck this engine off this and we mount it to that, at least on the back. And then we're gonna figure out the front mounts. And then from there, we got some other stuff I'm gonna do with the tunnel ram and stuff in another video just to show off its weight and everything. But moving right along for this run stand. Baby Hemi. So the stand is, that part of it's done. It's painted, drying. Now we're getting ready to move the Hemi itself. Got the intake ports all masked off. We got this all shoved with the trash bags I've been using to keep the engine clean inside. We're gonna wrap the heads so way nothing gets down in the mount and the heads. And it's coming off this stand for the first time in 5 years. Woo! It says you did, they're standing right behind you.
Until you get the rank on it after.
Alright, I'll get them. Alright, so the flywheel is bolted down, Loctited on, shouldn't go anywhere. Dad's getting bell housing bolts figured out. We're gonna get this thing over that stand over there here in a jiffy. So, I was planning on time-lapse and all this, but yeah, just didn't work out that way. By the way, if you're curious, that's Alice Chalmers Orange painted that with. It's a beautiful shade of orange. There's Race Hemi Orange right next to it. Race Hemi Orange is very, very bright, very in your face. But it's the right color for this engine. So that's on there. My homemade dowel pin worked. It's a little bit bigger than it was supposed to be. Of course, the factory dowel over here didn't fit worth a crap. Ended up cracking the bell housing one more time. That's okay. It's not like it's a mint condition bell housing or anything. Alrighty, so we're gonna swing it out onto the little. Check that out. I missed that shot. I thought we were gonna do it out in the driveway. Makes more sense to do it in here, but it rolled literally right into place. There we go. Dad's gonna recreate it. Boom, just like that. You can't get much better than that. There's no reason to have camera on the tripod. Yeah. So we just gotta come down a little bit. I'll be able to hit all them holes. Oh, I'm not even looking at the right place. So we'll get that done, and then we gotta do some measuring. We go from the elephant ear down to there and get the angle we want on the engine, and we'll be good to go here pretty soon. Okay, so here's your little glimpse at it. Walk around. I'm gonna show you this beauty right here. Kind of glad the satin black ran out. The gloss black looks pretty good. We kind of contoured this to match the bell housing shape. Pretty happy with that. That stiff back definitely looks good on there. That way nobody's worried about the engine flying off. The stand is a little wide, but you know what? I was thinking it'd be a little bit narrower, but the wider stance will make it more stable, and that's for this thing. It might be traveling.
One time you got your headers out here.
That's true, yeah. Well, and like I said, stability. I'd rather have a stable stand that can travel places than a stand that looks pretty, which I think it looks great. This is our magnum opus of engine stands, Dad.
Magnum opus.
Our magnum opus.
What's that mean?
I think it's like the final poop.
Oh.
You know, like when you hold it in all day, and it's when you finally get home and you get to sit down and just let it all go. I think that's what magnum opus means. Kansas has a song called Magnum Opus. I'm pretty sure that's what it's about.
I probably had to poop.
It probably did. So, now talk about pooping, because that's going to make us have to poop, and we got work to do. Okay, so now we're building the mounts for the front of the engine. So, we got some square tubing here, because everything else is boxy and rectangular shape, so to keep the aesthetic, got these two cut. Exact same measurement. Exactly the same length. Dad's got some plates somewhere I cut out already. Right here. And we're going to cut that in half. 2 holes. And those we welded on the end. And the motor mounts, motor plates will sit on this, and they'll bolt through that. You gotta leave it all together so you got room for the night drill. Yeah. So we're gonna get them holes drilled, and we'll get it all welded together. We'll get everything kind of bolted on the engine. We'll set it down. We'll get those welded to the stand, and that engine is set up to run. By the way, 426 Pro Stock Hemi. It's actually 452 cubic inches, but now we'll call it 426. Here we go. Where are you guys at? Oh, there you are. What are you doing? Staring at the freaking table face down. That ain't where you need to be. You need to be over here, right there. Okay, numero uno, mounted. That's gonna need to be painted and welded down there still. This is kind of what we had envisioned. It's a little on the crude side, but it does the job just fine. Yeah, we gotta do a little modification to the other one. It's a little bit off a little bit, but we'll get her. And it won't be long. This thing will be mounted to this. We won't have to worry about it. I can paint those legs, and then we'll have to build an extension probably for a radiator or something, because the amount of this C channel we had wasn't enough. So it ain't no big deal, but we'll get her done slowly but surely. Alrighty, so there's the ears. Pretty good. Now Dad's gonna let the engine rest on its own weight so we can weld that. Look at that. Stable as can be. So those will get welded down there and there. I'm gonna come back, I'll cut this excess off just like Dad did on this side. I showed him what I wanted. I wanted to kind of conform and be rounded, no sharp edges, so nobody could hurt themselves and try and sue me because they're stupid. Because they shouldn't be getting that close anyways. Well, at least to that. And plus that's just, you know, it's gonna snag on clothing and stuff, so we'll get those done. Then tomorrow I'll have to come out here, probably tape some stuff off, paint those black so that way it all looks black, kind of just looks like it's kind of floating, and we're good to go. Dad's gonna get those welded, and we'll show you when he's done. He's the master of the stick welding. Okie dokie, well, Dad's picking up some stuff off his truck. Here we go. Like I said, I gotta paint those still. That'll be tomorrow. But the engine's on it. Hemi valve covers are on it. There's the lifter valley. Nothing got in there. Let's see, here's the intake with the twin dominators. If I didn't have the dominators on here, I could pick this thing up with one hand. This intake weighs, I think, about 9 pounds, maybe a little more, because it's magnesium, not aluminum, and it's very light. I gotta put that on, put the dual distributor in, which reminds me, I'll pull up my plug I made, and we'll put that away. I'm gonna get this stuff on here, have Dad demonstrate how nice this is, how easy it rolls, and we'll call it a day. This truly is our magnum opus of a run stand. It's very, very cool. Needs finished painted, but look at that. Look at that. It rolls easy, turns nice. Those casters we got at Harbor Freight.
This is 330 pounds, they said.
Yeah. That'd be a piece. So.
1,200 pounds times 4.
Yeah. So it rolls nice. Like I said, all I gotta do is finish painting them legs, and we gotta build a control station. You know, there's a bunch left to do to actually make this a functional run stand, but the engine is off that thing, and now it's where it needs to be. It ain't gonna move, it ain't gonna break.
Pretty damn solid.
It's very solid. It's mounted just like it would be in the front of a car, and in the back she's got 6 bolts holding her up with a brace, a square tubing, so I don't think it's going anywhere, and it looks pretty nice in the back. So what do you guys say, Dad?
I think it's dandy.
I think so too. I think you really outdid yourself.
If anybody says you ought to wear a lighter shirt, this is hot, but sunburn is a lot hotter.
That's true.
It's bad.
Yeah, I wonder who would know all about skin cancer.
I probably do, but just don't know.
Yeah, that's what that scar's about. So, thank you, Dad, for all your help with this stand. This really did actually blow me. I mean, it met every expectation. So, we'll get everything else buttoned up on it, but that's going to be it for right now. This is going to be a video. So, as always, guys, we definitely appreciate you for checking this one out. And look forward to seeing the next one. So, as always, take care and
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.